Welcome back to another episode of the Body Buddies podcast. This is episode number 179, the Triple S, Sweeteners, Seasonings, and Sauces.
Welcome to Body Buddies, home of the Power Foods lifestyle. Take it one meal, one workout, one day at a time. And now, here's the founder of Body Buddies, Kristy Jo.
I am so excited you are here. In case we've never met before, my name is Kristy Jo. I am a mind and body strategist who helps you bridge the gap between the science of optimality in nutrition and fitness and the reality of your day-to-day life and psychology. If you want to lose weight, feel better, blast through brain fog, increase your energy, see some muscle definition, soothe digestive distress, and gain a more healthy relationship with your body and food, you're in the right place. You can find me on Facebook doing Facebook Live cooking and speaking and all sorts of fun things as Body Buddies, or on YouTube and Instagram as Bod Buds. Today I want to focus on congratulating Teresa, who recently finished the 10-day Power Foods detox. In our private Facebook group, this is what she posted. So I finished the 10-day detox yesterday. I did really well eating only the listed foods. However, some things I struggled with was getting the 6 meals in each day and didn't start working out until day 7. I also had moderate to severe headaches every day for around 7 days as well. I know that was my body coming off sugar and the other processed foods I had been eating. I wanted to do the 10-day detox to give me a jump start on eating healthy again, becoming mentally dedicated. I feel I achieved those 2 goals and I'm excited to continue on my health journey. I have a goal to lose at least 50 pounds this year. Doing the 10-day detox did help me lose 5.8 pounds. I also had a small decrease in my body fat percentage in total inches. I feel that if I had gotten my meals in and started working out sooner, I would have had bigger results, but I'm happy with the success I did have. For all of you currently in the process, stay strong. You will feel so much better in the end. One thing that I really enjoyed was squeezing a half a lemon in ice water with a little liquid stevia. Tasted like lemonade and a treat. Congratulations to you, Teresa. Very, very proud of you and excited for your success so far, and recognizing that 10-day Power Foods detox is that jump start into that wisdom and awareness and helping your body to really cleanse itself and get those organs functioning again. So I'm very excited for you. You have great willpower and motivation and focus at this point, so keep it going, and we're very excited for you. If anybody else out there is interested in this 10-day Power Foods detox, please go to www.powerfoodsdetox.com. I'll also link it up in the show notes. If you're listening on your smartphone, tap your screen and we will hook you up right there with the URL. All right, moving on. Today, I'm actually going to play a chapter for you from the Audible version of the book. Now, I'm going to just indulge in a little personal explanation here. Realize that this book, edition 2, was published in 2015. So, during my own personal journey and learning how to become a better teacher and educator and representative of this for all of you, one of the key things you may have noticed if you've been here a little bit or been a podcast listener is that my voice has changed. So you may wonder why this is. And I've heard this comment my entire life that when I go into teaching mode, it's like I kind of come up here and talk up here a little bit. And that's been a very, very difficult thing for me to change. And I've worked on that with some coaches, actually. So hopefully you've noticed a difference in my voice and my register. Most people feel when I use my lower tones like I am now, that it comes across as more credible and authoritative. So anyhow, just fun little between you and me. I have been working on that. So if you ever hear me go up in my high tones, you can kind of giggle and say, oh, she slipped up. So we're all people of evolution, aren't we? It's kind of fun though. And I have to laugh. I'm tempted to take down all my old stuff. And I think that's part of the process of each of us changing and improving is we don't want to discredit the old self, because it's the old self that leads us to the new self. So the reason I share this vulnerability with you is because in your own journey, I'd like to invite you to think about that. How does this apply? Whether it's before and after photos, don't look at the person person you've been before and discredit that person or shame on that person. That person was doing the best they could for the knowledge that they had at that time. And now you are evolving into a new and an optimized person, and you are allowed to change and grow and improve in this life. And that's the beauty of it. So with that said, I have a feeling you'll notice my voice register go up as you're listening to the recording. And the triple S is really, really key for you to understand if you are getting into the Power Foods lifestyle. So whether you are a veteran or you're new here, welcome. I'm always happy that you are learning and seeking to solidify this knowledge for you. A few just quick notes on the triple S. The new and improved Power Foods free download that I have for you does include the triple S list. So even if you have my Power Foods list, I highly recommend that you go to www.powerfoodsLifestyle.com/self-training. I know that's a long URL. You're probably driving. Please don't get on your phone while you're driving, but I will hook it up on the show notes, so later you can tap on that. Go get it, because page 2 is the triple S, just all spelled out for you, so you don't have to jot anything down while you're driving. So I'm going to cover, let me just go through some of the sections. I'm just in the book right now. So one of the subheadings is why processed foods are so delicious. I will go through oils. I'll go through processed foods and chemicals, foods that have been chemically altered and why. I'll go through high fructose corn syrup, MSG, sweeteners, artificial sweeteners. Let's see, Truvia. Oh, you're going to learn something about Truvia that you may not have known. Sauces, I'll go over all of the different dressings and sauces that I recommend keeping in there when it comes to barbecue, teriyaki. Seasonings, I give you my 3 top self-made blends that I love, and it's also going to be a good list for building your spice rack or your seasonings to make sure as you are starting to become more well-versed in food prep that you'll have all those resources you need to make things nice and tasty. And you'll totally get what I'm doing when you watch my Facebook Live videos on the Body Buddies Facebook page. You'll be like, hey, I know because I listened to that part of the podcast and blah, blah, blah. By the way, if you ever see my live videos and you are a podcast listener or a Snapchat follower, you've got to comment and tell me like you're in those families. My podcast family and my Snapchat family, you guys are my favorite. I really love on you. So you just never know when I'm going to do a freebie giveaway because you were the person that was like, dude, I listen to all your stuff. Whatever. All right. So without further ado, you can listen to chapter. What even chapter is this in the book? This is chapter. Have you read the book yet? It's chapter 14. You can get your starter kit at powerfoodslifestyle.com. That'll come with this Audible version you're listening to, the paperback book, the 3 recipe books, 6 sample starter meal plans, the food prep planning guide, and the Power Foods list. A lot of cool stuff to get started on your do-it-yourself journey. If you get your do-it-yourself kit with the starter kit, you've got to listen to a podcast today. It's just prerequisite. If you're not going to be coached by me in the PFL Academy or Body Buddies world, you've got to listen to a podcast today. Promise? Okay, pinky promise. Now that we're done, let's move into the episode about the triple S.
Chapter 14, the triple S. Sweeteners, seasonings, and sauces. It's usually 2 to 3 weeks into the PFL method of eating that I get an email or text message from a client. It doesn't matter how many times I hear words like this, I smile and get excited for that person. Their message usually reads something like this: I feel like I'm finally tasting food. I never realized how unsatisfied my body was when I was putting the wrong things in it. Now I feel like I don't need to put much on my food because it tastes amazing. Thank you for teaching me how to retrain my body. The only way you're going to stick to your new healthy lifestyle is by making your food taste good. Food should be delicious, or you won't stick to eating the things you should. I giggle over all of the social media memes and jokes that rail on dieting because it's so bland and so tasteless. Well, these people who still think this way need to try the PFL way. You deserve to eat delicious food every day. It's possible to eat delicious and savory meals that satisfy you and your cravings without packing excess grease, sugar, and harmful chemicals into your body. It's even interesting to analyze the food intake of people who believe they are eating healthfully when their food is, in fact, drowning in sauces and sweeteners. Both of these can throw off the energy and chemical balance of your body and turn a healthy meal into a fat burn sabotaging meal. I love helping to clean up a person's intake so they can see faster results in less time. Even small changes go a long way in providing the fat-burning, nutrient-absorbing environment we are trying to create in your body. Why processed foods are so delicious. You've probably grown so accustomed to eating factory-processed foods that your taste buds' ability to recognize true flavor has been diminished. Because of these artificial presences, many processed foods give your body just a taste of something so blissful that you continue to want more. Let's be honest, the food industry doesn't care about your health. They care about their profit margins. Food and food-like products is a business, and you're the consumer. So it's time to become an informed consumer. I'd like to give you several insights into the food industry and what they're doing to get you to eat their food, which naturally increases their bottom line. Highly processed foods may have fiber and nutrients decreased, if not removed altogether. These components are largely responsible for slowing digestion and signaling feelings of satisfaction being full. If you're not getting that natural stimulus because they've been reduced or removed, you will continue to eat past normal fullness. This is called overeating. Many foods have been chemically altered in taste tests. The food scientists tweak the taste to be the epitome of perfection to stimulate the release of dopamine in your brain when you eat that food. Dopamine is the pleasure neurotransmitter which plays a large role in addiction. When you obtain happiness or other pleasurable feelings from eating food, of course you will want to continue eating, and you will turn to that food often for that sensation. It's even worse because you won't feel satisfied very easily. It's scientifically difficult to achieve because of how these products are chemically structured. Normal triggers for your hormones to signal satiety aren't there. This is how you can go through an entire pint of ice cream or a tray of Oreos without blinking an eye. Your stomach's signals of being full are completely overridden by your taste buds' desire for more. I will always remember the day I learned about how Doritos chips go through a series of obtaining the perfect taste. I finally knew why I could plow through an entire bag without it even fazing me. I am now a much wiser consumer. Now, don't get me wrong, Doritos still taste amazing, but I know the secret weapons so I can keep myself from becoming a victim of ignorance. Though Doritos is just the example I'm using, this applies to so many food items in your grocery store. High fructose corn syrup, abbreviated as HFCS, sugar and monosodium glutamate, abbreviated as MSG, have all been linked to weight gain and obesity. They all enhance the flavor of the foods you eat. And let's face it, they make foods taste delicious. As you start looking at the ingredient labels on foods you regularly consume, you may be surprised to see these ingredients appearing in many foods you love. I was flabbergasted when I started becoming more aware and making an effort to get these particular additives out of the foods I eat. As a woman who has not yet had children, I especially find it interesting to learn the correlation between excessive fructose intake and adverse metabolic effects in the children of mothers who consumed HFCS and higher sugar amounts during pregnancy. Many studies have found an increased addiction and propensity to sugar in the children of these mothers. This knowledge led me to write the supplement to the Power Foods lifestyle, Power Foods for Two, a healthy lifestyle for the pregnant woman. This booklet is available on www.body-buddies.com. The oils used in most processed foods are refined, meaning they are stripped of essential fatty acids that are necessary for healthy blood sugar levels, memory, and moods. As you regularly consume these types of foods in place of natural, wholesome foods with healthy oils, your heart, hormones, and brain may all be adversely impacted. Trans fats in many oils are also the #1 cause of high cholesterol in many people. I hope you are not terribly frustrated with me as you start to read your labels and find just how much soybean oil, vegetable oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil, and corn oil is in the foods you eat. I agree it is frustrating to learn that foods you love are slowly depriving you of your health. I hope, instead, you get frustrated with the food companies and take initiative to teach others what you are learning so we all become more informed consumers. If consumers stop buying these types of products and begin voicing their concerns, sooner or later, companies will have to listen and change. Processed foods employ many chemicals that don't naturally occur in foods. This includes additives and preservatives that help food last longer without going rancid. These foods are made for a long shelf life, not for long human life. Their packaging is strategic. The words and slogans they use are designed to emotionally entice you to buy their product, and the taste is intended to lock you in as a customer for life. The more often you put these foods in your body, the more often you are not getting naturally occurring vitamins and minerals, which aid your body in everyday processes. Over time, deficiencies in these micronutrients will manifest themselves in small things like hair loss, bruising, circles under the eyes, weak bones, brittle nails, or more life-threatening illness and disease. It's time to retrain your mind and your body to taste food differently. You will do this by following the instructions in this chapter on how to utilize sweeteners, sauces, and seasonings to not only amplify your Power Foods natural flavors, but to train your mind to actually enjoy the natural flavors the food has to offer. My suggestions are a simple compilation of what I use on a day-to-day basis and have recommended for hundreds of people over the past few years. Please do your research and don't be afraid to try something that I don't suggest. Sweeteners. Oh, that sweet, yummy taste we all love. It triggers our pleasure centers and provides us with comfort, happiness, and temporary relief from stress. It's okay to like sweet food, but let's start looking for better ways to achieve a natural sweetness rather than a chemically pumped and enhanced sweetness that is over the top and quite addicting. As you seek to learn the best options for yourself and your body, please keep in mind that I don't want you to go overboard and become a weirdo about food. I'm serious. There is no need to isolate yourself from people or events that will provide foods to you that I'm teaching you to avoid. Likewise, please don't feel badly if it takes you some time to change. Take baby steps in improving the foods you eat. This is not an all or nothing event. It's such a process, and I urge you to be patient. Take your own speed and simply seek to make progress as you become more informed and aware of what you put in your body. Honey is more than just sugar. It is over 100 different compounds of minerals, amino acids, and vitamins, but only if it's pure honey. A study conducted at Texas A&M University found that nearly 76% of the honey sampled from grocery store chains and drugstores had all the pollen removed. Fast food honey was also found to have 100% of the pollen removed. In order to gain the health benefits from honey, you need the pollen. Purchasing your honey at farmers markets or natural product stores will pretty much guarantee you are purchasing the real deal. With this recommendation, please don't think that honey doesn't impact your blood sugar levels. It does. It is processed just like sugar. However, if you really need your food sweetened, this is the healthiest and most natural of options. When striving for ultimate fat loss, I encourage you to cut sweeteners out altogether, or use stevia, which I'll talk about a bit later on. You will find in the collection of Power Foods recipe books that honey is the main sweetener I use in recipes that call for a sweetener. Only rarely do I employ the use of other sweeteners, and when I do, it is for the sake of a better alternative than the regularly consumed food item you may be eating. I haven't had white sugar or flour in my home for the past 3 years. While it's up to you if you cut this, it's not to say you don't eat it on indulgence meals. I found that by keeping it out of my house, I used wise substitutes in my baked goods way more often than using something simple and easy out of habit. Many people use agave nectar, believing it's a healthy sweetener to use. This is a vegan alternative to honey. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, agave has about 5 times lower impact on blood sugar than table sugar. The agave plant grows natively in the southern United States and Mexico and has been used for hundreds of years in native Mexican culture for medicinal and sweetening purposes. However, due to the refining and processing of this plant to produce the product you see on your grocery store shelves, there are many controversial studies on this sweetener. The debate often turns to agave having a very high fructose content, which an overabundance of fructose has been shown to cause metabolic damage and raise triglycerides in the blood. I personally do not use the product. I like honey and use it as a part of a healthy lifestyle when I need something sweet. If you choose to use agave nectar, please look for a USDA certified organic product or Quality Assurance International certified organic stamp. Note: please keep in mind that if you are pushing your body to lower than average body fat levels like many of the fitness competitors I train, even natural products like honey should be avoided, as you should avoid any spike in blood sugar that is not strategically planned to benefit your aesthetic goals. Artificial sweeteners. Surely you have heard by now that artificial sweeteners are not all they appear to be. They can seem like a great alternative for those on a restricted caloric intake due to their calorie-free claims. That lovely phrase of sugar-free can cause choruses of praise to sing in your head. However, be warned. Just because a product claims there is no sugar, there surely is a chemical alternative to get your food or drink to taste good. No matter what you put in your body, there will be a chemical consequence in your body, good or bad. It's important that you set your own standards of what you will allow in your body, then always honor that. The Harvard School of Public Health teaches that diet soda can be a short-term substitute for adults weaning themselves off sugary soda, but cautions for kids to avoid artificial sweeteners in beverages altogether, as the long-term effects are still unknown. Here are some interesting statements on these sweeteners that may help you begin forming your own guidelines. Our bodies don't excrete 100% of artificial sweeteners, so something remains in the body. Chemicals like these may impact your hormones, which are equally responsible for the fat loss environment, along with portion control and nutrient pairing you put in your body. Just because a food product claims no sugar doesn't mean it's totally truthful. The Food and Drug Administration allows nutrition labels to claim 0 calories if there are 5 or less calories per serving of a food. While artificial sweeteners may be derived from a natural source, the extraction and processing methods are so extensive that the sweetener no longer resembles what nature once provided. Their chemical structures have been changed. Is there any wonder that you feel bloated, constipated, or fatigued while regularly consuming artificial sweeteners? If you were to eliminate all artificial sweeteners, including drinks, gums, pre-workouts, etc., there's no doubt you will feel much more alive, energetic, and lack the dreaded bloat. The human brain responds to sweetness by signaling you to eat more. When you have an artificially sweetened product or beverage and provide the sweet taste without any calories, you can actually crave more sweet foods and drinks. This can easily lead to you eating excess calories. Be aware that most protein powders, pre-workouts, and branched-chain amino acid powders utilize artificial sweeteners like sucralose in order to keep their carbohydrate content lower. If one of my clients exhibits sensitivities towards sucralose, we usually find that using an egg-based protein, stevia-sweetened protein powder, like Isonatural, or skipping a protein shake altogether helps immensely. With these clients, I usually design their own stack for a pre-workout, which is a combination of supplements and vitamins in pill form, in order to get the sucralose out of their body. Not all individuals need a pre-workout snack, only those training for specific performance or aesthetic goals. If you feel you need your foods to be sweet all the time, you might consider pulling back from natural and artificial sweeteners altogether. Instead of masking the taste of your food, try to enhance its natural characteristics and flavors. Stevia. This is a plant naturally grown in Brazil and Paraguay that is sweeter than sugar, about 250 to 300 times sweeter. Due to its high sweetness factor, use of the extract requires about 1/5 the amount of table sugar. Extraction of the stevia leaf includes crushing the leaf, extracting the water, filtering and separating the liquid from plant material, purifying the extract with water or food-grade alcohol, and drying. More than 5,000 food and beverage products use stevia throughout the world. There are liquid drops of stevia available that many people find works well for their use in foods and beverages. It also has the potential for lowering blood sugar levels, so diabetics should keep this in mind when using the sweeteners. Truvia. Though the marketing is good at making you think so, Truvia is not an equivalent to stevia. Stevia is not even listed in the first 3 ingredients on its label. Just like other artificial sweeteners, and yes, we are going to label this as artificial as it's chemically derived, your body doesn't know how to metabolize the chemical structures, which may interfere with your hormones and metabolism. This is very problematic for you when trying to lose body fat. Its main ingredient, erythritol, is a sugar alcohol made by processing genetically modified corn. Sugar alcohols are known for their side effects of gastric distress, cramping, gas, and bloating. Sound like fun? Sucralose. Also known as Splenda, sucralose is one of the most frequently used artificial sweeteners in beverages and foods to make these products sugar-free. Let's take a look at the chemistry behind sucralose. It starts off as a sugar molecule, a disaccharide that contains glucose and fructose. But then in the factory, 3 chlorine molecules are added to this structure, which makes it a foreign object to our bodies. While this sweetener doesn't seem to impact insulin, making it the best option for type 1 and type 2 diabetes populations, sucralose is still under scrutiny for any potential links to diseases or disorders. I will not, and I repeat, will not be surprised when evidence is revealed in the next 10 to 20 years that sucralose is in fact linked to disorders that we see on the rise in the United States. Aspartame. This sweetener that is found mostly in Diet Coke and over 9,000 other products in the United States is actually 10% methanol, a poison. Aspartame has long been the focus of many activists to get off the shelves of our grocery stores, as tests conducted on lab rats have found that the chemical may have a role in causing cancer. Now remember, we need to take all studies with a grain of salt and look at the control factors. In each of the studies I have read, the dosage used on the rats was far beyond the dosage a human consumer might get by drinking a 12-ounce can of Diet Coke. I don't provide that information to indicate that aspartame, or any artificial sweetener for that matter, is okay to be ingesting. I hope we're past the point of asking, "Can I have it?" and are now asking, "Why should or shouldn't I choose to have it? How can I moderately use this?" There are other sweeteners, and will continue to be others, that pop up and are marketed to you with deceptive appeal. You may or may not be lured into believing clever slogans and marketing tactics. Bring it home. Do yourself a favor and take an inventory of all the artificial sweeteners you are currently putting in your body, including salad dressing, gum, soda, protein powders, pre-workout supplements, BCAAs, and flavored water beverages. You might be surprised to see just how many are a part of your normal habits. In order to help your body function more efficiently and decrease the chances of illness or disease, see if you can't work to eliminate one of your regularly used sweeteners each week. A car with a beautiful exterior is only as valuable as how it runs under the hood. Likewise, a healthy and fit-looking body on the outside is only as good as its health on the inside. Be wise in your use of artificial sweeteners if you can't eliminate them altogether. Sauces. Sauces can easily take a well-balanced meal and turn it into a fat storage promoting meal. I will admit I love the taste of barbecue sauce as much as the next person, but I realize that the high carbohydrate, fat, and sugar ratio will cause my blood sugar to be impacted, especially if I'm eating a PVF meal where I'm trying to minimize any impact on blood sugar. Choose to use sauces that don't have more than the benchmark of 5 to 10 grams of sugar in everyday meals. Be sure to check for high fructose corn syrup in every food item and sauce you purchase. HFCS is an industrial food product and doesn't occur naturally within substances. This means that your body doesn't know how to handle it. The molecular ratio of glucose and fructose bound together in an unnatural form causes many digestive and metabolic issues that, in short, lead to overconsumption and total calories. Here are some great ways to dress up your food. Following PFL principles should not be boring or bland. Seek to enjoy your food. This will happen as you really pay attention to this section on spices as well. Ranch dressing. Make your own ranch dressing using my recipe in Volume 1 of the Power Foods Lifestyle recipe books, or use the powdered form to sprinkle on a salad topped with cottage cheese. Bolthouse Farms also makes an incredible line of yogurt-based dressings that taste delicious and are all within PFL guidelines. I use their ranch dressing a lot. Mustards. Dijon, brown, regular, they all offer so much flavor. It's amazing how many foods taste great with mustard on them. Be brave and try something new. I especially love mixing a bit of Dijon in a can of tuna. Italian dressing. A little bit can go a long way. Marinate your chicken in this or dress your salads with it, lightly of course. Avoid the fat-free or light varieties as they use artificial sweeteners and additives to make up for the chemical change. Simply use smaller amounts of the full-fat versions as this is better for your body's digestion. Ketchup. Used in moderation, about 1 tablespoon per serving, this is a sauce that can dress up many foods. I like to use ketchup with my egg whites and complex carb mixes, like lentils, black beans, and brown rice. Be aware there is some sugar in this product, so go light and use an organic product. You can even make your own using my recipe in Volume 1 of the Power Foods Lifestyle recipe books. Soy sauce. This Asian deliciousness has a bad reputation due to its outrageous sodium content, but it can add much variety and flavor to your meats and vegetables when you use it lightly. However, if you have high blood pressure and your doctor has asked you to avoid sodium, this should be a sauce to avoid. Whether or not you have high blood pressure, seek to use a low-sodium sauce. Most Asian diners will provide this to you upon request. Salsa and hot sauce. This is one of the best toppings you can use for salads, meats, potatoes, veggies, and egg whites as there is a lot of flavor packed into one serving. Be sure to double-check the sugar content and remember our principle of watching out for foods over the 5 to 10 grams of sugar mark. Salsa is a definite must-have for your refrigerator. Barbecue and teriyaki sauces. The biggest culprit in these sauces is the high carbohydrate to sugar ratio. If you can find a sauce that has less than 5 grams of either of these items on the food label, without the product using artificial sweeteners as a substitute to reach these lower numbers, then feel free to use these types of sauces in moderation. I have found that a good mesquite barbecue seasoning can come pretty close to producing the same taste as a normal barbecue sauce. Watch out for high fructose corn syrup in these sauces. Seasonings. Nothing makes me feel more like a gourmet chef than opening my cupboard and choosing a random assortment of spices and herbs to add to my meals. As you follow PFL principles, you may use natural seasonings in combinations that are endless. The sky is the limit. I have many clients who are initially hesitant in trying new combinations, but once they begin experimenting, they realize how much fun it is. Realizing how capable they are of making any basic meal into a mouth-watering masterpiece is a great part of the lifestyle change. As you follow PFL principles, you may use natural seasonings in combinations that are endless. The sky's the limit. I have many clients who are initially hesitant in trying new combinations, but once they begin experimenting, they realize how much fun it is. Realizing how capable they are of making any basic meal into a mouth-watering masterpiece is a great part of their lifestyle change. As you try the PFL recipes I have created, you will learn that you don't need a ton of seasonings to make food flavors pop and taste delicious. If you're someone who doesn't have many seasonings or spices in your home, let's fix that. Head over to Find Amazon on your internet browser and type into the search bar the phrase small glass spice jars. You can find some very inexpensive sets. Purchase 1 or 2 sets, then go to your local store that carries these items in bulk to purchase the dry ingredients. It is much less expensive than purchasing an herb or spice rack that is already made for you. Also, keep in mind that you don't need to drop a ton of money at once to do this. Take everything in stride. Perhaps one week you purchase the jars. Then each consecutive week you can purchase 1 to 2 new seasonings or herbs. Make this an enjoyable process of improvement, rather than a sudden dent in your wallet over which you later become frustrated. Be sure that your cupboard is stocked with some of the basics I have listed and use frequently in the PFL recipe books. Basil, bay leaves, Cajun seasonings, celery salt, chicken bouillon, non-MSG, chili powder, cinnamon, cumin, coconut flavoring, coriander, curry powder, garlic salt, Italian seasoning, lemon pepper, mesquite barbecue, nutmeg, onion powder, oregano, parsley flakes, red pepper flakes, rosemary, sea salt or pink Himalayan salt, seasoned salt, non-MSG, Thai green paste, thyme, turmeric, vanilla. Let's get started with a few different combinations to try. These are great because they work with many foods from chicken and fish to vegetables and soups. You will learn to love the taste of real home-cooked food. Southwestern Seasoning Blend. 2½ tablespoons chili powder, 1 tablespoon coriander, 1 tablespoon sea salt, 1 tablespoon oregano, 2 tablespoons paprika, 1 teaspoon pepper, 2 teaspoons cumin, 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper. Sweet and zesty spice. 2 tablespoons cinnamon, 1½ teaspoons ginger, 1½ teaspoons nutmeg. Taco seasoning. 1 tablespoon chili powder, 2 teaspoons onion powder, 1 teaspoon cumin, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon paprika, 1 teaspoon oregano, 1 teaspoon sugar, ½ teaspoon sea salt. Now here's what you've been waiting for, my secret blends. I put these on nearly everything I make. If you are someone who has high blood pressure and has been counseled by your doctor to watch your sodium intake, then it would be wise to cut any salt measurements in half. However, if this is not something you need to worry about, you will be just fine adding salts to your food. Sodium intake only becomes a problem when we are eating so many processed foods that use sodium in extraordinary amounts as a preservative to increase shelf life. If you are getting in a good workout where you are sweating and eating power foods, please add salt to your meals. Your body needs this wonderful electrolyte to maintain balance on the intracellular level. Kristy's Secret Blend number 1. 1 tablespoon garlic salt, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 2 teaspoons oregano. Try this on your egg whites or your chicken. Kristy's Secret Blend number 2. 2 teaspoons curry powder, 1 teaspoon turmeric, 3 chicken bouillon cubes mashed, 1 teaspoon garlic salt, ½ teaspoon chili powder. Try this in your complex carb mix. Kristy's Secret Blend number 3. 1 tablespoon garlic salt, 2 teaspoons Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 2 teaspoons Cajun seasoning, 1 teaspoon red pepper flakes, ½ teaspoon celery salt. Try this in your sautéed vegetables. Conclusion. Learn to love the natural tastes of food. Relish them. Savor them. Learn to season your food and become the master label reader in your family and workplace. A small amount of knowledge can go a very long way as you seek to apply the principles you are learning about traps and tricks the food industry uses. Become the master of yourself by using a new strategy in how you eat. The PFL strategy will help your body find a healthy state of function where you feel incredible and in control.
Nope, it's not another diet. The Power Foods Lifestyle's real-life approach helps you become a strategist of your own health using science, psychological tactics, and practical application techniques. You will not need to kiss your favorite foods goodbye, but you will start learning how food works in your body. You'll begin to tweak the way you construct meals. You'll learn how to balance your blood sugar, and most importantly, you will learn how to accept yourself for not being perfect and commit to the journey. It's messy, but you gotta keep going. Start your Body Buddies journey today with the Power Foods Lifestyle Starter Kit. So what's inside the starter kit? The paperback copy of the Power Foods Lifestyle, personally signed by me, the audiobook digital files so you can listen while you clean up, drive, cook, or do tasks around the house, my 3 PDF printable recipe books with over 150 delicious, simple, and totally easy recipes that even the most novice cook can enjoy, 6 sample Power Foods Lifestyle fat loss meal plans for women, the Power Foods shopping list, and the food prep planner. Now, if you were just to buy the copy of the paperback book on Amazon, that would run you about $22. The starter kit is only $37, which is going to save you over 60% of what you would pay if you were to buy all of these products separately. So I've put them all together, everything you need to really get this self-study journey started. This is the best way to get started and learning, whether you're ready to start with coaching now or ready to do the academy. This is the best place to get started. You do have what it takes to power your mind and body. Let Body Buddies and the Power Foods Lifestyle be your next path of progression into a sustainable lifestyle change.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes. You can learn more about Body Buddies and Power Foods Lifestyle by going to www.body-buddies.com, BODY-BUDDIES.com, and powerfoodslifestyle.com. That's www.POWERFOODS-lifestyle.com.
Information in this episode is provided for informational purposes and is not meant to substitute the advice provided by your own physician or other medical professional. Information and statements regarding dietary supplements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.